Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I figured why not? I might as well continue watching the Despicable Me series, and so this is Despicable Me 2. Hi. Hello. Oh, you have somebody with you. Can I get a ride? Can I bum a ride? No? Alright, go fuck yourself. Despicable Me 2 is a 2013 film that is once again made by Illumination. And before I get into the rigmarole, and before I get into the plot and the characters and the actors, blah blah blah, it's most of the same people from the last movie, right? I will say this. Did I like this movie more than the first film? No. I think the first movie was better. Do I hate this movie? Do I dislike this movie? Do I despise this movie? Is this the worst sequel, especially animated sequel, that I've ever seen? No. I thought this movie was fine. A decent time waster. I don't feel upset or disappointed that I had watched this movie. I do have some issues with it, but first I will start with Steve Carell once again as Gru. Gru is a nice character. When I say nice character, technically he's a dick. So it's not so much of him being nice to other people. I mean nice in the sense of he went through his character growth, his arc in the last movie, right? Where he's learned to, if not be nice to people in general, he is more appreciative of his daughters. And so that's the qualities to see a guy who's practically a villain be nice in another side of his life. That's what you sort of gravitate the most towards Gru. I know it sounds like I'm trying to describe Gru as if he's a three-dimensional character, but it's still something that I enjoy the way Steve Carell plays the character. They're able to keep him with that same personality while being a better dude. I do like his dynamic with the three daughters, right? Margot, Agnes, and Edith. Especially the oldest daughter having this side plot of starting to like this boy. And there was quite a few moments of Gru's character reacting poorly to the fact that she is sort of flirting with this boy and dancing with this boy and wanting to date him. And Steve Carell had me laughing a few times. Kristen Wiig, funny enough, I mentioned Kristen Wiig because she did a voice of a different character in the last movie. And I specifically said, I wish they had done more with Kristen Wiig. I wish she was playing a character that actually could have been more involved. And it feels like somebody was listening to me, even though this movie was made way before the fact that I'm watching it. But they recasted her as this new character, Lucy. And at first, at the beginning, I thought we were going to set up that her character was the new villain, and because she was outsmarting him and sort of steps ahead of him. I remember a long time ago seeing the trailer for this movie, and they didn't show anything else besides what feels like the first 3 minutes of this film. Watching it now, it felt like I was rewatching it, as far as when she shows up at the birthday party, tases him, and so he's knocked out. She takes him in his car. The minions are following, and she also takes them, and she goes into her underwater submarine. And so all of that sequence, I'm like, oh, I've seen this before. But you come to find out that no, her character, and this is a concept that I appreciated, because in the last movie I thought, well, there's so many villains around in this world. Is there a hero? Is there a good guy? Is there a Batman? Is there a James Bond who maybe deals with them? And you find out that there is an organization that deals with them, the Anti-Villain League. When they explained all of this, and when they said that they're actually trying to recruit Gru because he changed and he returned the moon that he stole, I said, this is interesting. This probably could be a decent premise and plot for the entire film. We don't spend a lot of time with it, though. We don't spend enough time with it, I think, for me to fully go along with what that could have been, the potential of that. We spend a lot of time with Gru working with Lucy, and they're trying to go after this villain and blah, blah, blah. To be honest, the villain of this movie, he's fine, but it wasn't really something that I was all that impressed of, or I thought was a villain that won me over more so than the first film. The Minions, we should probably get to the Minions, because I said that the last movie, I was okay with the Minions. I mean, I don't love them, but they're there, right? This movie, being the sequel, being it's a couple years later, and so being that the makers, have seen what audiences feel about the Minions, how much they probably enjoyed them, they doubled down and had them in this movie so much more. Now, I'm not prepared to say that I hated them or that I hated their scenes, but I was finding myself groaning and rolling my eyes and just kind of going like, can we skip to the fucking next part of the film, right? Like, I wasn't angry. I'm trying to contain myself because it is a kid's movie, and I'm sort of recognizing that I can imagine being in the theater and kids laughing all around me, and maybe that would have annoyed me more, because eventually I would have just fucking yelled out, "This ain't funny! God damn it!" So luckily that didn't happen. I'm in the comfort of my own home. So I will say that we are teetering, right? We are teetering on the edge of the Minions potentially being annoying as hell. I found it intriguing, although they don't do a whole lot with it. The villain kidnaps a bunch of minions and experiments on them and turns them into evil purple minions. I think we could have done a hell of a lot more with that. Even the Russell Brand character, like, they try to do a twist with him, but then they kind of walk it back. I feel like it would have been more effective if Russell Brand's character, the old man assistant, if he maybe was the villain, or if he was the one that turned on Gru, because that would have felt more personal, and I think it would have hit a lot of things home better, but they did not do that. The Minions, there's this dumb fart joke that just, I can't stand fart jokes. Granted, there are certain movies that can make me laugh at a fart joke, and I can't even explain what makes me laugh at this fart joke, but not that fart joke. For whatever reason, especially in kids' movies, it just comes across as super cheap and super lazy, and they do it more than one time here. Also, when I talk about the Minions, the credits of the movie, it's just them doing bits, and it's them being goofy. And that was the moment where I stopped and said to myself, okay, I'm trying to be reasonable. I'm trying to tolerate them in the doses that I'm getting of them in these Despicable Me movies. But you're telling me that the Minions have spin-offs where what, they're the main characters, where we are following them only? They don't even speak English. What, like, they don't even have subtitles of like what they're saying. How are there movies, standalone movies, of these damn Minion characters? I should mention, because I mentioned it before, Pharrell once again does the music for this, and I thought some of the songs were decent. When they played that song Happy, I was like, oh yeah, man, that song was everywhere. You couldn't escape a radio or a person's car or just any store that you went to that was playing music, because that Happy song was everywhere. Ironically, it started to make me not happy anymore. But there is that other song that Pharrell made that's in this movie that's, I think it's just called Despicable Me. That's pretty decent. Anyways, guys, yes, it's a decent time waster. It gave me a couple laughs. Not better than the first film, but I did not dislike it either. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Despicable Me 2. Do you like it as well? Or do you think that maybe I should just stop here before it gets too far? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.